Hi everyone, hope you are doing great and welcome back to the channel. I'm Asel, the host of Tilasel, and today I'm joined by Reza Nikpur. This is the third episode in our cognitive psychology series, where we will be talking about the topic of hope. The questions I will be asking today are actually questions that many of you have sent in. I'll be bringing them up during the interview so Mr. Reza can share his insights and help us better understand this subject. Before we get started, I should mention that you can check the Hope playlist as podcasts on Reza Nikpur's channel. I will put the link in the description below if you'd like to, so check it out. So, what can people do when they feel hopeless?
One of the most useful cognitive exercises is separating facts from stories. Take a piece of paper and divide it into two columns. On one side, write facts, and on the other side, write my mind's story. For example, fact: I failed the exam. Story: I'm a failure. Fact: my relationship indeed. Story: no one will ever love me. Fact: I lost my job. Story: my life is over. The mind usually speaks in extreme language. It says always, never, forever, and everything is ruined. But reality is usually much more complicated than that.
Why does the mind do that?
Because the human brain evolved to detect threats. It is much better at noticing danger than noticing possibilities. This tendency helped our ancestors survive. But in modern life, the same mechanism can create unnecessary suffering.
So, hopelessness doesn't necessarily mean that the situation itself is hopeless?
Exactly. Hopelessness is often a feeling, not a prophecy. Feelings are important, but they are not always accurate descriptions of reality.
Can you give us an example?
Okay, imagine someone standing in a dense fog because he cannot see the road ahead. He concludes that there is no road. But the absence of visibility is not the same as the absence of a path. Hope works in a similar way. Sometimes we don't need certainty. We only need the possibility that things may become different.
Many people say, I don't have any reason to hope.
I understand that feeling, but Hope does not always begin with certainty. Sometimes hope begins with a question. What if my mind is wrong? What if this painful chapter is not the whole story? What if I cannot see the future clearly right now? Those questions create space, and hope often grows inside that space.
And what happens after people separate facts from stories?
They begin to create some distance from those stories. Instead of saying, I'm hopeless, they may say, I notice that my mind is producing hopeless thoughts. That small change can make a big difference because they are no longer completely trapped inside the story, and hope is often born within the distance.
If you could leave us with one final message, what would it be?
If your hope feels weaker today, it doesn't necessarily mean your future is darker. Sometimes it simply means that your mind is telling a frightening story. And stories can be rewritten. We may not be able to change the past, but we can change the way we interpret the future. And very often, that is where hope begins again.
So, hope is not the denial of reality?
No, hope is the willingness to admit that reality may contain possibilities we cannot yet see. And perhaps that is enough for today.